It's the Then versus Now Challenge! 3!
Welcome back, fans. It's quarterfinal race 1 for Group 2 of the Then vs. Now Challenge 3. It's been a while since we've met for this event. How have you been, Al?
I'm great, Barry. While we were away, I went to the state fair and I met a special lady. And I can't wait to introduce you to her.
That's nice, Al. But this is a family-oriented racing channel. We don't talk about our personal lives.
Of course I know. Scrapyard Diecast Racing is the only channel approved by the Car Code Authority, guaranteeing family-friendly entertainment. But this wasn't personal. This was all business.
Al, have you lost your mind?
I hired an employee.
You what? You don't have hiring authority? Even I don't have hiring authority.
Barry, trust me. You're gonna love her. But stop wasting the fans' time and let's meet today's racers. Up first, we have the driver that was in the race that kicked off Group 2. For Team Now, in the 2003 Opel Speedster, it's Everett Kittner, and he's back all the way from Berlin, Germany. And if you're a dedicated fan, then you'll remember these Opels did such a bad job getting down our track, I even took some time to redesign the company's logo. Maybe Mr. Kittner changed his car's emblem from Speedster to Slowster.
Al, be nice.
Anyway, next we have someone who might not have one of the fastest ever vehicles on our track, but probably one of the most entertaining. Back again, it's Norman Jordan from Virginia Beach, Virginia, in his 2020 Jeep Gladiator. And if you watched qualifying race 4, then you remember he sent that Jeep into the sky so many times we dubbed him Air Jordan.
No we did not. At no time did we ever do that. That's copyrighted, and no one at Scrapyard Diecast Racing ever made that claim.
Did we call him Big Air Jordan?
Are you purposely trying to lose us subscribers, Al? That belongs to a completely different channel. We didn't say that either.
Anyway, in race 3 of the tournament, Jordan took his entertaining skills to a whole nother level when his car exploded and he somehow managed to land back in the guillotine gate. And if you didn't watch that race and that sounds wild, trust me, that whole race was just insanity shifted into four-wheel drive.
And speaking of four-wheel drive, up next is our only representative for Team Then. It's Ruben Short in his classic 1965 Gen 2 Safari, all the way back from Johannesburg, South Africa.
And he may be the dirtiest of dirty drivers we've ever had at Scrapyard Diecast Racing, because he was carrying explosives in his roof rack.
That's an unproven conspiracy theory, Al. Trusted sources say it was faulty wiring that caused any combustion.
Trusted sources? Like who? Who do you trust?
Who do I trust? Me. That's who.
Well, I still say he was playing dirty, unlike our last racer, who is the epitome of sportsmanship. That's right, I'm talking about Zach Taylor from Phoenix, Arizona, in his 2006 Golf GTI Mark V. And Zach has been with us all the way back since the last qualifying race. And to close out those qualifying rounds, we decided to up the intensity and eliminate the final heat. And boy, did those VWs deliver the action. Plus, as I mentioned before, Zach is all about sportsmanship. And in race 7, Zach faced fellow Team Now member Stephen Bennett, and they took turns letting each other win to show what teamwork is all about.
Actually, if I remember correctly, Zach had an illegal bottle of nitrous oxide in his car, boosting the performance, and it exploded on impact.
Oh, so now you're the one peddling in conspiracy theories, Barry?
It's not a theory, it's just the popular opinions of all our fans online.
Well, speaking of online, how about we get these racers on the starting line and get this race started?
Hold on, Al. Aren't you forgetting something?
I already said, you'll meet my special lady later.
Al, I don't even know what you're talking about with that. I meant the clunker.
The clunker? Oh, right, the clunker! To up the competition, we're gonna be sending down a remote-controlled clunker as a decoy. And here's the best part. If the clunker passes you to the finish line, you lose a point for that heat.
Great! Now we really have to get this race started. Here we are at the guillotine gate for Heat 1.
In lane 1, we have the noble Everett Kittner in the Speedster Lane 2, it's Jumping Jordan in the Gladiator. Lane 3 is our clunker. In Lane 4, we have the old-timey Land Rover. And in Lane 5 is Zach Sportsmanship Taylor. In the broadcast booth is me and Barry. And watching this video is you at home.
Enough, Al. We get it.
3, 2, 1, go!
And they're off.
Jordan blocks.
Land Rover flips.
Ruben Short and Mr. Sportsmanship are out.
What a move by the Opal.
Norman Jordan is out.
He's gonna make it.
Everett Kittner across the line. Al, what is that at the end of the line?
It's a steel pipe I had the safety crew paint white and install at the finish line.
What? Why?
Obviously to protect the tires from the racers crashing into them all the time.
What? To protect the tires? We're in a junkyard. We have an endless supply of tires. Oh, never mind. Let's just get to the replay.
What a way to kick off the quarterfinals for Group 2, Barry! As soon as the gate goes up, Norman Jordan steps up for Team Now and immediately uses that big Gladiator to go toe-to-toe with that relic of a Land Rover and block. And he's able to hold that block for the length of the bottleneck. And in Carmine Corner, that Land Rover is belly up. And seeing that the only member of Team Then is out, Zach Taylor again puts sportsmanship over winning and sacrifices himself to block the clunker so the rest of his team can focus on winning.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yup, and what I was not expecting to happen was the Opal pulls an amazing two-wheeled landing coming off the jump. That looked like a move from a summer action movie.
And while Ruben Short was able to slide that Land Rover off the ramp, unfortunately he couldn't get it back on its wheels.
And when we go to the wide shot, we could see that the Opal's move gets even more awesome. Because after he gets all four tires on the ground, Everett Kittner does an awesome reverse slide to get that speedster facing forward. That was just amazing. Then, coming into the boulevard, he has that speedster all out, and he just lightly brushes against the wall and goes across the line.
And into your ridiculous steel pipe. Can we have that removed during the scorecard segment, please?
But what about when the racers smash into the tires?
The only thing around here that's gonna get smashed is you if you don't get rid of that pipe. And Al, if you want to focus on smashing, why don't you focus more on one of your Team Now racers that just smashed into the scorecard with 5 big points, taking a very early lead in this race.
If he keeps this up, I might have to stop calling that car a Nopal.
We are back at the gate for Heat 2. Lane change now sees Norman Jordan's giant Gladiator in the pole position. Zach, back on his wheels, Taylor is in lane 2. Our clunker is in lane 3. The only racer with points, Everett Kittner, is in lane 4. And the only member of Team Then closes us out in lane 5.
And now, countdown time.
3, 2, 1, go!
Land Rover goes in for the push. Zach Taylor in reverse.
Norman Jordan and the clunker are out.
Taylor and the Opal make the jump.
The Land Rover is out.
Taylor loses it.
Opal pushes through. Kittner all alone and across the line.
Whoa, did you see how hard he went into the tires? See, this is exactly why I put the steel pipe there.
Ow!
Another action-packed heat, Barry. As soon as the gate goes up, Ruben Short in his Land Rover uses all that curb weight to push the tiny by comparison VW in front of Norman Jordan. That was a pretty good play. He was trying to take out all of Team Now in one shot. And shout out to whoever in the safety crew is operating the remote control on that clunker. He obviously caught wind of that plan and immediately slams on the brakes to keep the clunker out of the mess. Meanwhile, Zach Taylor was trying to clear out that mess by quickly shifting in reverse and hitting the gas.
While that did clear the way for the Opel Speedster, it was no help for the two big trucks because they both had massive trouble in the turn.
Also, in Clunker Canyon, Zach Taylor performs a textbook reverse landing, and Everett Kittner also manages to land the jump, but he comes down hard on the nose of that little speedster.
Furthermore, and unfortunately, Ruben lives up to his last name and he comes up short and couldn't make it over the ramp. And shortly thereafter, Zach Taylor performs his second textbook move by showing us all how not to avoid the clunkers, and he goes frantically spinning onto his roof.
Not funny, Barry. I'd rather focus on how Zach Taylor's team spirit is spreading to Everett Kittner, who used his speedster to try to give his VW partner a push to help him get back on his wheels.
But that push did very little because Zach Taylor was nowhere to be found, and for a second time in this race, Everett Kittner's Opel was all alone coming down the boulevard.
And also for the second time, he went full speed over the line, which caused him to slam so violently into the safety tires that he was launched back over the line. And for the second time, he's the only one to put any points on the scorecard. I'm serious. If he keeps this up, Barry, I may have to apologize for all the things I said about him and Opel all the way back in race 1. We are back at the Guillotine Gate for Heat 3. Zach Taylor is in the pole position. In lane 2, Ruben Short's Artifact Land Rover is up front for the first time. The ever-faithful Clunker is in lane 3. Giant Jumping Jordan has his work cut out for him to try to get some points starting all the way back at lane 4. Unlike the racer to his right, Everett Kittner, who is sitting pretty with a huge first-place lead.
Not bad, Al. That almost sounded semi-professional. 3, 2, 1, go! They go wide!
Jordan is loose!
Jordan is out, and the Opel can't get around!
Taylor and Short make the jump!
The clunker roof spins and is out!
Short tries to block! Taylor in reverse and steers around! Zach all alone! He's into the tires and spins himself around for a photo finish! Boom! And that's how it's done, Barry.
How what's done?
Sportsmanship! Zach Taylor goes wide, and what looked like Norman Jordan losing it was actually Jordan giving Zach as much room as possible by executing a reverse pit maneuver to take out the clunker.
Instead of the clunker, maybe they should have focused on Ruben Short's Safari, because he was able to flip Zach Taylor over in the turn. And even after all his reverse pit maneuvering, the clunker made it through the turn while Jordan ended up on his roof and blocked his own teammate, which left the Opel no room to get around. Then, coming off the jump, Ruben Short tries his hardest to get that heavy, solid-built tank to land on top of the VW, all while expertly avoiding the clunkers and, more importantly, our camera.
But even though he was in reverse, Zach Taylor was able to get that nimble GTI around, while Short went into the clunkers with explosive results. Then Zach Taylor comes laser beam straight down the boulevard and across the finish line, plus he's able to spin his car to face forward so he looks pretty as I say this. With that win, Zach Taylor now joins Everett Kittner's Opel on the scorecard. That was a beautiful performance, Barry. And speaking of beautiful performances, that's a perfect segue to introduce you to the special lady I met at the state fair and hired.
Al, what are you doing?
Trust me, Barry, you and the fans are gonna love it. This is gonna be awesome. Guys, hit that intro. Ladies and gentlemen, Diecast fans of all ages, it's my great pleasure to introduce you to the greatest stunt woman of all time, Captain Tara Bell.
What stunt is she gonna do, Al?
She's going to jump her rocket car over our car carrier while it's parked the long way.
Are you sure she can do this, Al?
Of course she could do it, Barry. She's a professional.
That does not instill me with much confidence, because in terms of broadcasting, you're technically a professional.
Thanks, Barry.
That was not a compliment.
Hold on to your hats, fans. This is gonna be awesome. There she is, in the guillotine gate, ready to go. Once she gets those turbines up to speed, she'll be ready to blast off.
Let's hope she blasts off instead of blows up.
Don't worry, Barry. She's a professional.
So I've heard.
Shush, Barry. I'm about to hit the countdown button.
3, 2, 1, go!
Take off!
Zoom! Through the turn! Oh no!
Incredible!
Oh boy!
Spectacular! Al?
I already know what you're gonna say. That was unforgivable.
Right! That was unbelievable!
What?
Look how she rockets down the hill, and then she rockets even faster through the bottleneck! It's more thrust than she can handle, and it causes her to barrel roll through the turn! And what's this? A new camera angle? I love how we could see her do another barrel roll off the jump, right before we see her
Explode and crash into the truck?
Yes! 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 That's my favorite part! Look how she was able to crash into the truck and set the lower level clunkers loose while exploding! You know what I call that?
A tremendous accident?
Exactly! A tremendous act and event! And then while Terabelle goes up like a ball of flame, she manages to have the clunkers line up like a set of Blue Angels before they also come crashing at full speed into the barricade where Terabelle should have ended her stunt. You know where I think Captain Terabelle is going after all this, Al?
The hospital?
Exactly! The top of it all! Why do you keep whispering, Al? I predict she's gonna be big, with those driving skills, friendly personality, and that killer smile. We've got a star on our hands. I predict she's gonna be $1 billion franchise for the Scrapyard.
What? We're nowhere near being monetized. On any platform.
Not yet, we're not. But I'm sure with that performance, Captain Terabelle has the power to zap us and our channel to exactly where we need to go. Great job. What a find, Al. I could watch her crash all day. We are back at the Guillotine Gate for Heat 4 after that amazing halftime show. What did you think, fans?
I think they should forget it ever happened.
Leave us a comment below if you want to see more of Captain Terabelle.
Barry, focus. The race.
Apologies, fans. I'm just so pumped up from that halftime show. I say we skip the intros and get right to the countdown for some more action.
Whatever gets us past that halftime show.
3, 2, 1, go!
They're tight.
Too close to call.
Safari flip.
Calamity in the canyon.
Opal and Terror through.
I don't believe it. A 1-2 finish. You know what I call that, Barry?
A cue for a replay.
I was gonna say sportsmanship. What do you gotta say about Team Now, Barry?
That was quite an impressive performance, Al.
You're telling me, Barry.
With the amount of heats running out, the tension is up and the racers kept it tight all through the bottleneck.
But in the bottleneck, Everett Kickner does the unthinkable. He somehow gets that pocket-sized Opal to not only block, but to flip over that city bus-sized Land Rover Safari.
And unfortunately, like Jack from the fairy tales, with his crown broken, Reuben Short goes tumbling down the hill.
And in the back like Jill, Zach Taylor comes tumbling after. And in the wide shot, we could see that the speedster steers around while showing off with an impressive drift. What a way to showboat for the fans watching at home. And not to be outdone, Zach Taylor shifts it into reverse and is right on his teammate's back bumper. Then, they each pick a wall to hug and zoom down the boulevard, and across the finish line they dash. And speaking of dashes, with that 1-2 finish, Team Now is clearly in the lead. And while being nowhere on the scorecard, Team Then may as well replace their zeros with dashes, because so far Reuben Short has failed to make it across the line. It's the final heat. Team Now already has this one all wrapped up. The racers are back in their original Heat 1 positions. No matter what miracle Ruben Short pulls off in this heat, it makes no difference because he has no chance of advancing. And it would be nice if Norman Jordan, who has struggled against these much smaller cars, could cross the line so that all members of Team Now went home today with some points.
Al, no one is going home if you don't stop blabbing and let me hit the countdown button.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's chaos!
It's madness! Unbelievable! Opal in reverse!
Bumpers explode!
All out and across the line for another win, Barry! I need to see all of that again in the replay. That was incredible, Barry. It started out by what looked like was going to be a standard race by everyone keeping tight coming down Nevada.
Then in the bottleneck, the remote control clunker successfully managed to flip Ruben Short and Zach Taylor.
And in the turn, Norman Jordan finally came alive, steering around all that mayhem. But then, in Clunker Canyon, something that has never happened in Scrapyard Diecast racing history happened. Norman Jordan saved his giant jumps for the last heat and decided to put on a show for the fans by landing on a car carrier. And yet, even more spectacular, Ruben Short flies off the cliff but on the wrong side. And he managed to explode his way onto the dun pile.
Wrong event, Al.
Oh, sorry, Barry. Anyway, in the wide shot, you can see Everett Kittner expertly get that speedster back on its wheels and shift into reverse and then zoom out of there before things get too hot in the canyon.
And even while upside down, the remote control clunker still did its job and was able to block Zach Taylor and prevent him from scoring any more points.
Well, someone who was not going to be stopped was Mr. Kittner in the Opal. He speeds down the boulevard and crosses the line. And the other thing he just did is make me eat my race one words. Because after this massive blowout of a win, he just made me rethink my stance on Opal. Maybe they're not garbage after all. I mean, while this wasn't a shutout, that little speedster was able to win 4 out of 5 heats. And he finishes with a massive 20 points. That is leaps and bounds better than the measly 1 win he was able to eke out in race 1. My apologies for ever doubting your skills, Mr. Kittner. He definitely deserves his spot in the semifinals. And so he won't be going there all alone. Proving once again sportsmanship pays off, Zach Taylor in the VW GTI Mark V will be joining him in the semifinals. Too bad we don't give points for exploding and crashing your way into a completely different Scrapyard event, or else Ruben Short for Team Then might be joining them in the semifinals as well.
And while Team Then did not perform well this race, I'll tell you someone who did. Captain Tara Bell. Fans, I really hope you enjoyed her stun as much as I did. Again, leave us a comment if you want to see her marvel us again.
And make sure to like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And be sure to join us again when we go back to Group 1 for quarterfinal race 2. But in the meanwhile, be sure to check out our playlist to catch up on all our other tournaments and events. And if that's still not enough Scrapyard Diecast racing action for you, go check out our Shorts channel and subscribe.
It's the Then versus Now challenge. 3,